Justice League number 17, written by Jeff Johns, art by Ivan Reyes and Paul Pelletier. This is the finale of the Throne for Atlantis, and we open up with the Justice League making their way back onto the Watchtower. Dr. Shin basically says, Volko, he started the war, he's the one who did it, he punched me, everyone knows it was Volko now. And Cyborg's like, yeah, he teleported off and the history's been wiped, so he probably definitely did it. And, you know, they're asking questions, why would he do it? And it's like, oh, well, he was exiled from Atlantis as well. And he's probably using the scepter to control the trench and attack the Atlantean army and framing Aquaman for it. And so Aquaman's like, all right, all this is kind of my fault. Like, Atlantis being here and all this stuff, I need to take control of this situation. So everyone starts getting geared up, and we see the fight going on below, where all of the B team are currently fighting against, not just against Atlantis, but also the trench as well. Orm, he gets attacked by Hawkman, and he's like, Hawkman. But then Hawkman immediately gets distracted by beating up some trench, and he's like, okay, well, you guys are a little bit unfocused. Meanwhile, we cut over to Zatanna and Black Canary, which are currently getting choked out by Firestorm because he keeps on turning water to steam without realizing that people can't breathe steam very well. And then he gets shocked and knocked out of the fight. And Orm's like, all right, well, this is actually pretty easy. Hey, do we have our bombs ready? And he's like, yep, we got 2 bombs set and ready to go. Cool, on my signal. And then immediately the Justice League come through a boom tube ready to fight. And they start unloading on everybody. We see Batman tells the B team, hey, you're going to go find a guy named Volko. Meanwhile, Aquaman's taking on Orm. And Orm basically says, like, living up here on dry land has absolutely ruined your mind, dude. You are not my brother anymore. And he's like, hey, yeah, I get it, cool, but Volko's the one who caused all this. He's like, Volko, are you crazy? See, you are stupid. And so he shocks Aquaman, and we see Volko looking down from above, being like, come on, Arthur, you can do it. Hustle through. And Orm goes through the whole thing of like, when I was a kid, I heard that you were my brother and you were up on dry land, and I was terrified for you because you were stuck up in this horrible place. And then I learned that you exist, and I cried when you came home and took the throne because I always wanted that for you. I want you to be around, dude. Like, that is all I want. And so he shocks Aquaman again, and he's like, but like, you're never going to be around if the dry land's here, so we're bombing it now. Set off the bombs. And then all of a sudden, the first one refuses to detonate because one of the B team of the Atom, but like a female Atom that I'm unfamiliar with, she apparently shrunk down inside and dismantled it. The second one, though, is still set to go, and Superman and Wonder Woman pick it up, throw it into the sky, and it explodes away from everybody else. And Norm's like, all right, well, I can still control water. I am the Ocean Master. And he causes a huge tsunami to come up over, I believe, Metropolis? I'm actually unsure where they are right now. It does not make a difference, but I'm very interested. Doesn't say. I'm going to say Metropolis. So anyway, he makes a huge wave come down, and Mera, she's there as well. She uses her magic to stop, not magic, but water kinesis to stop the wave. And then Zatanna uses her magic to turn it to ice. And so Aquaman, now not having to worry about that, he's like, you know, Orm, I also wanted to be your brother, but I have to be alone, because every leader ends up being alone. So he beats the crap out of Orm, punches him in the face enough to literally break his crown. And he just tells him, like, give up so I can take the crown from you. And Orm's just like, all right, I yield, I'm done. So at that point, the the Justice League surround Volko. He's trapped now. The Atlantean army come after Aquaman, and he's like, I just beat your king. I am your king now. And so he calls on the whole army to kneel before him. The trench start coming up to attack, and he's like, all right, we can't fight each other. We're going to join forces. We're going to fight against the trench. Got it? Go. And so everyone starts beating up against the trench until finally they realize, like, oh, wait, Volko surrendered. And so he goes up to Aquaman, presents him with the scepter, and be like, here you are, King Arthur. And he's like, Volko, why did you do all this? And he's like, because I know Atlantis can be great, but it needs you to lead it. And all of this was just to get you to go back to Atlantis. And he's like, are you kidding me? That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. And he just hits Volko like halfway across the city. He's like, how could you betray me? How could all these people die for that? And he's like, oh, because I love Atlantis. And I love you, Aquaman. And he uses the scepter to control the trench, tells them all to go home. And then they're like, all right, how do we wrap this up? Who's going where? And Arthur says, Volko's going back to Atlantis. He's going to be tried for his crimes. Orm, you got to stay here, man. And Orm's like, what? Are you kidding me? I did this all for Atlantis. He's like, right, but you gave up the crown, and therefore you're not a foreign dignitary anymore. You have to be tried for your crimes. I'm sorry, there is no other way. And Orm's pleading with him like, you cannot be that mean. He's like, I'm sorry, I genuinely do not want to do this. So we cut to some point in the future. Orm is stuck in Belle Reve, and he's just pleading to talk to his brother. He just wants to know what's going on. Cut back to the lighthouse where Aquaman lives. Mera's begging him not to go, but he's like, I gotta be king of Atlantis now. They need a ruler, and I stood up and I took it. So, yeah, I gotta go. And he tells Mera, come with me. You can be my queen. And he's like, she's just like, I can't go back there. So we see Dr. Shin has been vindicated. He's like, oh, we all believe you now. Atlantis exists. And he's like, great, get off my lawn. And the final page that we have here is 3 different settings. One is the Justice League, saying that they need to expand their ranks, so they're looking at new members. Second is a group of villains saying the opportunity is now. We're going to recruit for our own evil league. And I say they're starting with the Scarecrow. And third is Amanda Waller talking to Steve Trevor saying, now we have to start our own league, the Justice League of America. Okay. All in all, I think that was a very satisfying conclusion to the event. The best part of it being an event is that it left each of the players in a new place. It left Aquaman going down to Atlantis. It left the Justice League opening up its ranks. And it allowed for whatever the villains and whatever Amanda Waller's doing in Justice League of America. I'm liking all that. All that's good. Art here, great. The dialogue between characters, fantastic. I think this is probably one of the most solid endings to an event we've had across the entire New 52. So I'm going to give it I'm just going to say 9. I actually think it is worth a 9 right now. It is a solid entry. I really do enjoy it, and I can't really fault it for much of anything at all. So check out Justice League of America.